Outside of hating Trump with all his guts,
What?
former anchor, fired anchor,
It's true.
Olbermann's got a problem.
Well, why don't you cry about it?
Especially now when it comes to RFK and Joe Rogan discussing a little something called
Don't say it.
the coof and the vax and how they have issues with it.
He ain't lying.
But then again, it's just a guess. I'm Chaz Berganzo, and this
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
is what's next. What's up, everyone? Jazz Berganza, what's next? Another episode for you. Of course, this is Tuesday. Well, over the last 24 to 48 hours, what has been going viral is the situation between the debate, or proposed debate, between one vaccinologist, Dr. Hortez, and RFK Jr. Why? Because RFK Jr. was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and they talked about a myriad of things, including the coof, its origins, and the wonderful, magical vax. So much so that Rogan put up some of his own money, and then more money was raised, to the point of $2 million to the charity of Hortez's choice if they had a debate between Hortez and RFK Jr. Well, Hortez went on some clown show on CNN, of course the Cuck News Network, and basically declined because he's of science. Well, because, you can't challenge science. Can we? Enter one Keith Olbermann, former sportscaster for ESPN, fired, former MSNBC anchor, fired, and of course, a raging Trump hater has decided to throw his worthless 2 cents into the conversation, and of course, we're going to mock him for it. And here we go. This comes out of PJ Media. Keith Olbermann throws tantrum over the Hill's RFK interview. Former MSNBC actor. Keith Olbermann, possibly the most unhinged of all the resistant Russiagators, not a small feat in the delusional world of neoliberalism, was none too pleased about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s recent appearance on the Hill Rising. Quote, and he tweeted out, "Dear Hill, you've forfeited your right to do this. Fire the conspiracy nuts. Sell the cameras, shutter the operation, and hope you can regain your credibility as a sort of news organization," he tweeted out June 16th. "Commit the crime of watching the interview in its entity and form your own conclusions about the sanity or lack thereof displayed by RFK Jr., then compare it to Oberdouche." The former NBC News actor is also upset about the prospect of a proposed debate between RFK Jr. and vaccinologist Peter Hotez on the merit of COVID-19 vaccine. You know how the West worked through the thorny public policy dilemmas throughout history. Open debate, uninhibited by the authorities, religious or secular, facilitated the entire renaissance of enlightenment. Wow. Literally, what would they debate about? How wrong Rogan was about the COVID vax, how stupid he is. It's easy. He's the stupidest man in the world. A bowling ball with shoes. Debate complete. Oberdouche tweeted. Yes, because that's such high school of him. Let's speculate. RFK Jr. made devastating points about the efficacy and safety and the lack thereof of COVID-19 shots and other vaccines. Proponents of the orthodoxy, like Olbermann, understand the artificial homology they enjoyed over the public discourse is only possible via the suppression of alternate viewpoints. Yes. Remember how many people had questions about the coof, the origins, and then, of course, the vax, and basically were told to shut the up on social media, to accounts were being demonetized and or canceled? Well, that was so many years ago. So censorship is not desirable but necessary to maintain pretty public health. Fictions peddle the masses through corporate state media. Olbermann's histrionics call for a cancellation aren't confined to RFK Jr.'s. He's lost his mind a few weeks back over CNN's town hall with Donald Trump, and of course I won't rehash that. How enlightened, how liberal, how loving. But let's hear a little bit about RFK in regards
actually did come from the Wuhan lab. They were scientists there. If this is confirmed, it would all but guarantee the lab leak theory, which I believe you've said in the past, you also think COVID originated from a Chinese lab. If that is the case, I want to know, will you prosecute Fauci and hold others criminally responsible in the U.S. health apparatus who advocated and funded gain-of-function research?
I'm going to have to look at that, but I think they should be prosecuted. I think It was reckless endangerment. They knew all of these labs, including the Wuhan lab, had a history of leaks. There were numerous memos from the State Department and others saying that the lab was dangerous. It wasn't even a BSL-4 lab that they were doing this research in. It was a BSL-2, BSL-3 labs that have very, very low thresholds and and this kind of research is malpractice. To do it in the labs, that the actual scientist who got ill, who they're now saying is patient one, is Ben Hu, who was the underling for the Bat Lady for Xi Zhengli, and his funding and her funding came directly from NIH, and NIH taught them the technology for developing, not only for making the technology that was used to make these viruses more infectious, more virulent, more deadly, but also this technology called the seamless ligation technique, which is just a bioweapons technique for concealing human tampering on engineered viruses.
For those who haven't seen the interview on MSNBC, it's a good watch. It is a good watch. RFK Jr. makes some great points, as he did similarly when he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. My thoughts. Fact of the matter is that Keith Olbermann is what Keith Olbermann is. He's a douchebag. He's a sleazeball. The fact of the matter is that no major media entity will hire him, says all you need to know. So he goes about tweeting to the 5 people who actually watch him. And then, of course, he does his little podcast, which I don't know where it's originating from, because nobody knows it exists until Olbermann says something stupid, like calling Rogan a bowling ball in shoes. So that's what you have. I thought it was a kind of interesting story to jump into, only because of situation regarding Hotez, RFK Jr., and Joe Rogan. I hope the debate happens. I don't think it will, because Hotez has no balls to do it, even though he is a man of science. Got to remember, Fauci is the king of science. Hotez is just one of his subordinates, but still, trust the science. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it, hit the notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. And we'll see you next time. Peace.